So you just got done watching my Prezi presentation on kind of my reaction of the Keep tool for educators. And this last slide, I wanted to talk about how my first Keep went. We had to, in one of our modules, do a lesson plan and pick a classroom and go in there and teach a 60-minute lesson plan. And then while we were teaching it, the teacher had to videotape us and observe us and then fill out the Keep plan. I felt like mine went okay. I felt like my lesson plan did need a little bit more work for the age group that I had picked. I don't know if it was maybe a little too easy for some. Like I mentioned early on in my presentation, I feel like lesson plans is an area that I really do need to work on more, and I feel like that will come with more experience as I start teaching and spend more time in the classroom. But overall, I was pretty happy with my score with my Keep that she gave us. The first page for the learner learning, I got all 3s, which is effective. Of course, you always want to strive for the number 4, which is highly effective. And I like on the Keep that there's an area for comments. The teacher overall left really good comments for me. She made comments that I did make requirements for the different levels, and that was the one area that I thought that maybe I needed to work a little more on. So I was pretty happy with that score. Within my lesson, I did forget paper for the kids to write on, so I did at the beginning have to ask her for some paper, which, as someone coming in to do a lesson plan, you definitely want to come prepared. So, but she gave me a score 3 on that too. On the second page, content knowledge, once again, she scored me effective on both of them. This area I thought I did a really good job defining the words and going over key details and making sure I kept asking questions and that the kids were understanding. And several times throughout my lesson, I repeated my goal and, kept that in mind. And even at the end of the lesson, I repeated it, which, I know within our weekly group meetings on Google Chat that we as a class have talk about, how that's the first thing and the last thing you need to mention. So I was pretty happy that I remembered both of those items. And then my last ones were Construct 3 instructional practice. Here I didn't get as much high score. I scored a 2 on planning for instruction. So I definitely, like I said, need work on planning my lessons, which I already knew. So that's definitely an area that I have some weakness in. So looking forward to building my strength in that area. And then my assessment, she scored me in a 3. She thought I did great in that. And I would have to say in that area I did have a lot of strengths. I did verbal checks throughout. I did thumb up checks throughout to make sure kids were staying on track, and when they were ready to move on, they would put their thumbs up and we know. I had a self-assessment sheet for the kids to fill out, which they thought was pretty fun, and then I had my own assessment sheets that I filled out that were pretty easy, and the teacher actually really liked those sheets. So I would have to say that was probably my best area throughout the whole Keep. So overall, I felt like my first Keep went really well, and looking forward to many more. Thank you.